Hey, so I've been playing Terraria recently. It just had its final update, and it's pretty good. It added a lot of small things and details. I can make a whole video on it, but for now, I want to talk about something specific. One of the new features is the town and pylon system. Basically, NPCs now have this happiness thing in a preferred biome. Eventually, you'll have the option of buying pylons from them. Pylons are teleporters. They only work if there are at least 2 NPCs around, but they are much easier to set up than actual teleporters. So, here's a quick story with my experience with the pylons. The story starts with me beating Skeletron. I was checking out the dungeon when I realized, hey, I could set up a pylon here. That way I could easily teleport to this side of the world and back in a matter of moments. So I got to work. I built a small house on top of the dungeon as it seemed like the safest area. The Clothier prefers underground biomes, and the mechanic sort of died, but that's okay. I relocated the merchant and zoologist here instead. So I met the criteria for a town, it's just that the dungeon isn't a biome. They were selling forest pylons instead. That was fine, but for some reason I couldn't place it down. I would not figure out why until much later. Anyway, since I couldn't place down the forest pylon, I tore down the buildings and placed it in a nearby desert. Now I can buy a desert pylon. But I still could not place it down. At this point, however, I actually realized why. You can only have one of each type of pylon in a world. I already had a forest and desert town, so I can't have another one. So now, it was time to try other things. I was hoping that there was a pylon for the space biome. Spoiler alert, there isn't. Okay. Well, the mechanic just came back, and she likes the snow biome. And hey, look, there's one close by the dungeon. Except the problem was that it was completely corrupted by the Crimson. So when I built a home, it said that the house was corrupted and thus unusable. Alright, well, maybe the snow biome was safe underground. And thankfully, it was. I found this structure, refurbished it, and there we go, a town. Except now, they won't sell me pylons. I was very annoyed and confused, so I consulted the wiki. Turns out, NPCs will only sell pylons if they're happy, and because the merchant and zoologist prefer the surface, they will not sell me a pylon. Even if they did, would they sell me the snow variant or the cavern one? Because I already had a underground pylon, so I can't use another one. I did have another idea. I made a house on top of the ocean and moved the angler and zoologist there. I thought that since the angler likes the ocean, and it was on the surface, this would work, right? It didn't. Apparently, the angler's a bit too rude to the zoologist, so she won't sell me a pylon. Oh, for the love of God. So overall, I give Terraria's new update a 10 out of 10. You should really play it. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to bed.